we have we have a sample from that video of what a summertime holiday could be. And in fact, you know what? I even have some background music that can accompany well, we're gonna call this Halfling Festival, or at least that's what it's called on tabletop audio. As we begin, let's take a look at some examples from our real world about the types of holidays that we celebrate in the summertime. Or Capo, and Down to Die if you're still here, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. Because for you all, Christmas and New Year is a summertime holiday. So I want to do this not because I'm looking to bring reality into fiction. I don't necessarily like it when there's that kind of a bleed through. And of course, there's many of us, and Mawile, you were looking for NPC inspiration and such, where you might reach a point as a world builder, as a storyteller, as a DM, GM, or ST, where you go, you know, I would really like to have something that's festive, but how can I make a not Independence Day? How can I make a not whatever else? Pardon. Because oftentimes those are the go-tos, because we have a familiarity and we say, all right, well, we'll turn it into, we'll turn it into Labor Day, at least here in the US. We'll turn it into Labor Day and just change one aspect of it, which you can do. I mean, reskinning is a very common workshop tool. In fact, that's going to be the first lesson that we go over in our monster creation workshop in October. But let's take a look at some real world holidays, either from the present or from our history. Let's get we have here we go. The summer solstice. Now, whether this is a religious event in your world, there's something civic or cultural to it. It's just seen as a natural event, or there's some mystery to it. The solstice is the solstice. It is the longest day of the year, and this is something that your fantasy society, unless for some reason your world does not have this kind of, tilt and rotation and everything, there may very well be some kind of observed summer solstice event. Then we have various religious holidays. For instance, International St. John's Day. You have commercial things like National Bomb Pop Day. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know if people necessarily celebrate that, but it is a commerce, If any of you have ever heard, Sweetest Day in October, that's just a Hallmark holiday. And even that term has come to mean a commercial holiday more than anything. If you take a look here, a sports, like a big sports event, a sports holiday. We have Wimbledon, the big tennis event. Midsummer. You're like, oh, wow, July 3rd was National Stat of the Sunday, huh? Why wasn't that on my schedule, and why didn't I get that off of work? So some of this stuff, you're like Sidewalk Egg Frying Day. It's either, I mean, whoever proposed this or is pushing it, you're like, okay, well, whatever. It's not hurting anyone. Tanabata as well, and our coloring book events for the summer here was Obon. So Tanabata and Obon, we have cultural festivals with some religious theming to it. Apparently in July, it's Nude Recreation Week. So who knew? Though you might say, you know what? In this community or among these people, this might actually be a thing for some reason. It could be environmental because where your adventure's playing, this is the hottest week traditionally of the summertime. And or it's a time where everyone, for maybe if it's only just this week, is allowed to culturally and or legally allowed to shed themselves of other cultural conformities such as clothing, and there you go. Other things that might be like food or beverage related. Now, I mean, whether you have to pick your blueberries on this day, but you might have things that are associated with agriculture. Of course, don't forget Prime Day here, the day when Optimus gave his life and he passed on the spark, such that humanity may continue to flourish in our world, having sacrificed himself from his. But again, a commercial holiday, Amazon Prime Day. National Hot Dog Day. A lot of just, fun stuff. Yeah, if you're out anyway, sandcastles. I guess there's a New South Wales bank holiday in August. So there we go. Capo, that one's going out to you, I guess. But there's a lot of there's a lot of things here. So yeah, banking holidays could be something. Oh, and Sawtooth. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sawtooth. That is correct. So you, Down to Die, and Capo, unless Cloaking Dust is here, are resident Australians. So as you can see, there's many different things that can be celebrated. It could be historical. It could be civic. Maybe there was a war that came to an end. Or even something that started. Independence Day, 4th of July, here in the US. Although, close by is also Canada Day. Oh, congrats on completing the DLC for Pokemon. Druids doing it, or fur-covered species like the Tabaxi or the Harengon. It might just be way too hot, So yeah, it's just you're allowed to let all the fuzz hang out on those during those times. Now, Mawile, you suggested looking at some Roman holidays. If we go into the past, it is almost as if I was prepared for something like this. So, great minds think alike. For example, here in ancient Roman religion, and also speaking of, things that sound like fur anyway, Furnalia was an annual festival held on 25 July to celebrate the rites of the goddess Furina. Varro notes that the festival was a public holiday. Both the festival and the goddess had become obscure even to Romans of the late Republic. Varro notes that few people in his day even know her name. One of the 15 flamines was assigned to her, indicating her archaic stature, and she had a sacred grove on the Janiculum, which may have been the location of the festival. Furina was associated with water, and the Furnalia follows the Lucaria, Festival of the Grove, on 19 and 21 July, and the Neptunalia on 23rd July, a grouping that may reflect a concern for summer drought. Welcome, Family Fantasy RPG. It is good to see you, my friend. It's been a little while, so thank you for stopping by and bringing your crew over here from your game of Warhammer. But I hope things are going well for you. We are currently talking about IRL summer holidays that are cultural, historical, religious, civic, etc., as a way to prepare for the exercises in our workshop of creating our own custom fantasy holiday. Doing good, still getting settled in after a move, painting Warhammer minis. Very cool. Now, is this the Sci-Fi 40,000 version? Are you painting up some more fantasy-style Age of Sigmar? Or do you have some older kits of Warhammer Fantasy, even? Are you painting up like a whole big skeleton crew, vampire counts or something? Ah, 40k kill team. All right. All right, then. Oh, I hope you're having a blast with that, Colin. Desert leather. I love thematic stuff like that. Well, you all saw the shout-outs. Please do give Family Fantasy RPG a look and a follow. He has been coming by here for years now. And I'm very happy to have earned that kind of trust and friendship with you. That you're happy and willing to bring your friends over into our workshops. So Fernalia here is talking about some others. And we can swing this back around even to Adi Peruku, commonly known as Adi Monsoon Festival, is a Tamil cultural festival celebrated on the 18th day of the Tamil month of Adi. The festival pays tribute to water's life-sustaining properties. For the blessing of mankind with peace, prosperity, and happiness, nature worship in the form of Amman deities are organized to shower nature's bountiful grace on human beings. So we have something now. This is a cultural and a religiously a Hindu festival, but we also see water festivals even from ancient Rome with Fernalia and others, and even some of the, I guess, I don't know, like I don't know what to call them. Like, does anyone actually celebrate? What was one of them? I mean, does anyone of you actually celebrate Pick Blueberries Day? You know, so it's kind of a, I don't want to say filler, like it's necessarily, you know, like Teddy Bear Picnic Day. It's something to think about, but it's not, is it really a holiday? You know, but water is for sure, especially during summertime, very important. Not only does it help keep us alive, it brings about cleanliness. And it helps to keep our crops growing, which help to keep us growing as well. So, you know, historically and even practiced today through cultural and or religious festivals, or even the rainy season in many parts. If you go to Japan, the rainy season in the summertime, I guess to contrast here the desert leather theme for Colin's Orcs here, you have they have a term for the type of rain that falls during their rainy season or their monsoon season. They call it plum rain because the drops of rain are just so big. They're like plums falling from the sky. So water, rain, maybe even tempestuous weather. These are all things that can be observed, celebrated, or even seen as a cautionary tale. Something to warn about. You know, oh, this is our holiday, and yes, it might be a day off, but the day is actually to prepare for the oncoming monsoons or hurricanes or whatever else, or tornadoes or whatever, right? So everyone gets the day off in order to, you know, bolt up their windows for the next month or something. And then maybe there's a holiday at the end where people will take their shutters or other things down. And so this is a big part of world building because there's so many stories you can tell by what the people do, what they eat, what they don't, if there's taboos, particular symbols or colors, or natural events, or something that is historical and or, because sometimes, you know, in the Venn diagram, a historical thing can also have religious significance. It might be based on something like that. Again, the end or the beginning of a war, a turning point of some kind. If we come over here, this is another. This is another summertime holiday. The Consualia was the name of two ancient Roman festivals in honor of Consus, tutelary deity of the harvest and stored grain. Consualis Ludi harvest festivals were held on August 21st and again on December 15th in connection with grain storage. So this is what's important to that society, such that you have a festival that is promoting, reminding, or getting people conscientious of harvest and the preservation of food through the winter. The Shrine of Consus was underground. It was covered with earth all year and was only uncovered for this one day. Mars, the god of war, as a protector of the harvest, was also honored on this day, as were the Lares, the household gods that individual families held sacred. During the celebration, horses, mules, and asses were exempted from all labor and were led through the streets adorned with garlands and flowers. Chariot races were held this day in the Circus Maximus, which included an odd race in which chariots were pulled by mules. In Roman mythology, the Consualia was founded by Romulus as an occasion to gather his Sabine neighbors. When this community was assembled and in a state of drunken festivity, I'll leave that part to you all. There were also sacrifices to Consus on the 7th of July. Consus's feasts were followed by those of the related goddess Ops, the Appa Consivia, on 25 August and the Opalia on 19 December. According to Livy, the festival honors Neptune. Of course, then there was also Neptunalia that was mentioned here as a part of this several celebrations with Fernalia and others. Hi, Daily. Good to see you. Welcome. Y'all better behave. We have a mod in chat now.
Khajiita's wares, if you have coin.
Oh, Daily. Thank you, my friend. What a streak. Yep, and so there's a lot that we can learn from them, and even contemporary versions. The ways that things were celebrated now, like it's not a summertime festival, but the way that we celebrate Christmas now, whether in the more secular sense or in a religious sense, is in many ways different than how it was celebrated 200 years ago, and going back even further. Heck, if you go to Eastern European countries, more Orthodox countries, Christmas isn't really just the one day. But we can find a lot of interesting examples. And if we learn about those, we have ways to consider our takes on the world, the original world that has been born from our minds. Because festivals and holidays, these are things that are ubiquitous to humanity. Whether it is, civic, religious, commercial, it is because of war or some great historical event, etc. It's something that if you at least know some sources to look at, you might say, well, I don't have mules in my world. But I can see where, because maybe you have dinosaurs in your world. All right, so maybe there's actually, there's something like a chariot race, except all the wagons are filled with hay to represent harvest from the fields, and they're pulled by the dinosaurs that live in the area. And the holiday is based on a story that many people consider to be true, but, it's not really known. of we'll say it was farmers fleeing the countryside in the wake of a great summer storm. And so they were racing into the city with their goods to both seek shelter and to get as much stuff off of their open farmlands and into the city as possible. Otherwise, the crops would be flooded and destroyed. Well, then there we go. Hi, Lutheran. Good to see you. And there you go. You have something that, yeah, is kind of loosely based on a concept of Consuelia, but it has its own unique circumstances that talk about the biology, the culture, the weather of your world, the cultural expectations, and how an event like that is turned into something that is celebrated and people have fun with. So now that we've gone over this, and we have discussed where holidays can be based off of civic figures, religious figures, or even if a sport or a company is personified by a person or a mascot in some way, because these are extensions of humanity, oftentimes there is some kind of a avatar or a manifestation in our culture of the holiday. Uncle Sam for the 4th of July, for example. If there is a religious holiday based on a saint, well, that saint often has a depiction as well. If it's a sport, it might be someone who is currently or has been a very famous performer in that sport. And as a way to develop a prompt for a unique summer holiday, what we can do is actually generate an NPC. And whether or not this person actually existed in your world, we can get some personality from this manifestation to apply to the holiday and therefore apply to our world. Whereas maybe a super grumpy person didn't exist in the history of your world, but the grumpiness is actually an indication of severe weather patterns in your area. You know, winds that howl in from a direction, water and rain and monsoons and all this other stuff. Or it's the hot and dry season. And so the grumpiness could be a lot of these things too. So in particular, Mawile, this is where I hope in our workshop you will find some of that inspiration that you're looking for. So let's create a personification for a summertime holiday. Now, what kind of a holiday? I don't know. Let's develop the character first, and we will let the story tell itself. In this workshop, we have a saying. Some channels have OWOs, others have UWOs, and in this channel we have IWIs. IWI, IWI, stands for It Writes Itself. In our workshop, we let our stories write themselves. That way, we're not suffering brain drain, and we're not overthinking nor fatiguing ourselves in unnecessary ways. As is what happens in life, many things are that might go on to be a structured festival, you know, at a particular point in time in the future, initiated from something that was random. A 100-year storm started this, and everyone celebrated it since because they didn't want to get flooded out again. Or something along those lines. Who could have predicted someone was born that would become a mighty warrior or a religious figure or, you know, the greatest or most nefarious king of a country, or something along those lines. So we're going to build our NPC first. Then we'll consider which kind of a holiday can that represent. Now, if you all are playing along at home, I will hope that you have that you'll have your copy of the Dungeon Master's Guide with you. This is one of the core 3 rulebooks. In our Dungeons and Dragons workshops, as much as possible, I stick with only the 3 core rulebooks. It not only keeps things as introductory and accessible as possible, I also want to drive home the point that in 5th edition, the concept of bounded accuracy exists, where extensions and supplements and splat books still call back to the original 3 books, so that you don't have the kind of power creep or spectacle creep that we saw in other editions. So if you're playing along, I want you to open up your Dungeon Master's Guides to page 89, creating non-player characters. Now, if any of you have inspiration points, those are our channel points, and they look like this, okay? You all may lock in a quality to roll in our workshop. Otherwise, I will be randomly calling on members of you out there to roll dice in chat in order to supply the prompts for what we're considering. So I'll tell you what, to get us going, Mawile, I'm going to pick on you. Star the Mawile girl. I would like you to type exclamation point 1D20. No spaces. Exclamation point number 1, letter D as in doggo, number 20. Lands on a 3. Flamboyant or outlandish clothes? Okay. So, we have a prompt. And already from this, maybe your mind is whirring. And you go, aha, I got this. After Fav, all right, if you would like a workshop dice roll, after Fav, I would like you to type exclamation point 2D6. Exclamation point 2D6. One and 4. Strength is our high ability, powerful, brawny, strong as an ox. Intelligence is our low stat. We're dim-witted or slow. Now, what is a particular talent? In Mawile, this is also why I go back to the core books, especially the DMG. There's a lot inside this book that might be easy to forget or even overlook. But there's a lot of useful tables and references that can stand on their own, but especially with the interpretations we can apply to them, can create infinite modulations and variances on things. Bane, what is the talent on display during this holiday as personified with this character? I would like a 1d20 roll, Bane. Pardon. 4. A perfect memory. All right. Yeah, we did it, chat. Thank you for sharing that update, Capo. For your reward, I would like you to type exclamation point 1D20 in chat for me. Yeah. It remembers, but it doesn't know. So it's just, you know, a computer is ultimately dumb. It doesn't think, but it can store a ton of stuff. It just needs to be told how to work the stuff that it has. So, Capo, if you're out there, can I get an exclamation point 1D20 from you? All right, we must have lost Capo Drazi. Who else is lurking out there? Daily, are you still out there? Daily, can I get a 1D20 roll from you, please? And for all of you out there that are lurking, speak up. Let me know so I can call on you. Oh, I need the 1 in there. Just simply because we have some multiple D20 configurations. 2. Speaks in rhyme or some other peculiar way. All right, Dragon MDK is here, and I would like you to tell me, how does this NPC, this personification of a summertime holiday, interact with other people? And Dragon, I'm going to need an exclamation point 1D12 from you, please. Argumentative. Now, useful knowledge, it's here simply because we might use it sometime for particular notes. Remember, this is your story. NPCs can deliver whichever kind of information you need them to deliver. Right now, the useful knowledge is not going to be necessary for this exercise, though the occupation and history we'll get to after we finish this part. Pardon me. Who else is lurking out there? Who do we have? Do we have Bat Espada, Black Kevin, Artemis Rose Moon, Demon Quiller, Game Master's Vault, Gaming Zeta Naziro, Groggy Grognard, hello. Iron Chef Lord, JK Hunter, Keys, Kobold Sprig, Capo Drazi, Kragar, Zenko, if you're out there, Rosewolf, Sawtooth. That's not everyone, but that's part of the list. All right, Hero Dragon, I need a 2d6 roll, please. Exclamation point 2d6. What is our ideal? A 7 and a 2. All right, you rolled a 7 on a d6. Congratulations, Hero. That is user's choice. And you can choose whether our ideal is good, evil, lawful, chaotic, neutral, or other, and then the second quality of either of those categories. So it's either going to be charity, greed, fairness, creativity, knowledge, or discovery. Which one, which is sounding good to you here, Hero Dragon? All right, if you're choosing chaotic, then it's going to be creativity. Because you rolled a 2. Our first 6 is for which category? Our second 6 was for where on the list does it fall? All right, now we have a bond of some kind. What is this character and or manifestation? What is a bond into the world in which this person or event exists? Travesty or Woden, if you're out there. Xbox Aaron, are you out there? Otherwise, I don't mind calling again, but I'd like to give everyone a chance first. All right, let's do this. Mawile. I would like a 1d10 roll, please. Exclamation point 1d10. Hey, Aaron. I will need your help in just a moment. Mawile lands on a 4. We are loyal to a benefactor, patron, or employer. Mawile, will you please type exclamation point 1d3 in chat? Four wishes. All right, you rolled a 4 on a D3, Mawile. Do you want this this personification to be loyal to a benefactor, a patron, or an employer? Your choice. All right, and then lastly, Xbox Aaron. I need you to roll a D12 in chat for me, but just one. So please type exclamation point 1D12 in chat. Lands on a 4. Envies another creature's possessions or station. I'll tell you what, Aaron, let's figure out which one it is. I would like you to type exclamation point 1D8 in chat. On a 1 through 4, this is possession. On a 5 through 8, it is station. And if you roll a 9 on a D8, it's your choice. Envious of another creature's possessions. Excellent. Now, in all honesty, we could just stop here. We could just stop here. This is enough that you can apply these qualities to any character you'd like. Could be a human, could be a tiefling, could be a tabaxi, could be a dragonborn, could be a triton, could be an elf, etc. So if you're looking for NPC qualities, because maybe you already have the other details down, you could just stop here and apply it to what you'd like. If there's something more specific that you want. Now, as we're leaving everything open to chance, pardon, let's go back through the occupation and history of this character, or at least this characterization. Sawtooth, you will be able to get us started here, because I have pulled up our manual of player character golems. And I would like to know I would like to know the qualities of this character. So, Sawtooth, will you please give me a percentile roll in chat? Exclamation point 1D100. Lands on a 33. All right. So, no, so that's there. In whenever we do character creation streams, we keep it randomized unless we're trying to do something specific. So in order to account for the possibility of a multi-classed character, I simply rolled it into this roll. Because then if we hit multi-class, there's a 10% chance we would just roll again. Now, sticking to just the player's handbook, we're keeping it simple, okay? Let's find out. Which kind of or which race this character is. Now, Mawile, you have not gotten to do a character creation stream with us, and let's have you start. So I'll call on you here. Hey, DQ, if you're still around, I'd like your help in creating this character with with a dice roll. So, Mawile, can I please get an exclamation point 1D9 in chat? 1D9 in chat. All right, you are playing a 3 elf. Okay, then. So from our elf, I would like you to type exclamation point 1D3 in chat to let us know which kind of elf. Ah, you got the 4 on a D3. You get to choose, Mawile. Do you want a drow, a high elf, or a wood elf? There's no correct answer in this. Okay, a high elf? Now, I'm not worried about our alignment. We kind of have that with our ideal, and I'm not worried about our starting character level. Nor am I worried about the type of feats that this character has, if any. Otherwise, you can see there's just a bigger chance that we just take all ASIs, ability score improvements. So we're gonna just go past this stuff. Now, again, sticking with just the player's handbook, we need to find out what the background. In other words, what did our character or our characterization do that led up to the call of adventure, to civic duty, to religious enlightenment, to becoming a champion in some conflict, or is just a part of the personification of a weather pattern or something along those lines. Demon Quiller, if you're still out there, I think I have a 1D18 roll. Can you give that a try? Exclamation point 1D18. And if not, then I guess we'll just have to do a D20. All right, we might have lost Demon Quiller. Let's keep things moving along. Xbox Aaron, if you're still out there, can I get a 1D18 roll, please? And if that doesn't work, then we'll just try a 1D20. Because I forget if I actually programmed in a D18 roll. Oh no, everyone's dropping like flies. I'm happy for the 33 of you lurking, but I need some help in the... There we go. We need a background. Background number 16. All right, we have a pirate. Now, I'm not worried about the personality traits, ideal, bond, or flaw. We've already covered elements of that in the other roles. So now, one of the last things that we do in our character creator, not that it necessarily matters the least, but it is probably... how do I put this? It is one of the least compelling aspects of a character. Who the character is based off of their background. And the background, it has such a strong influence on a character. That is the who of your character. The race of your character is the what of your character. The class of your character is the how. How does this character get through life? Function in society, perform actions, or whatever. So let's have, after Fav, would you give me a 1d12 roll, please? Yep, exclamation point 1d12. And it lands on a 10, a sorcerer. All right, now we need to find out which kind of sorcerer. Draconic bloodline or wild. And so after Fav, will you please give me, let's go for a D4. Exclamation point 1d4. Odds, draconic bloodline. Evens, it is wild. And if you get a 5, it's your choice. Lands on a 2. That is an even. We have a wild magic sorcerer. Now, I'm not too worried about the weight and height, but this can often be something that is a part of a personification for a holiday. You know, Santa is a jolly old soul, right? He's got the long white beard. And that plays into that kind of grandfatherly kindness or whatever, right? So I would like to know for this character, generally, how old is she presented? Who else do we have hanging out here? Is there anyone out there who hasn't yet rolled? Any volunteers? All it takes is half of a second to write a command in chat. Hey, Artemis, there we go. Artemis Rose Moon, I need a percentile roll. Exclamation point 1d100. Mawile says this character is pure gold until now? What do you mean until now? 97 ancient. Ooh, ancient. So this is our occupation and history. The character could have worked before any of this other stuff. And Sawtooth, I did see that you talked about a Storm Sorcerer. I'm only using the core rulebooks for this exercise. Though, if you would have chosen differently or included other books for your roles, absolutely. This is a baseline exercise that can be easily adapted for the considerations or resources that you have at your disposal. So, this is now going to be a person that a holiday was based on, or simply this is a personification of the holiday. And it could be civic, historical, it could be religious, it could be commercial. This could be a mascot for, I don't know, a shipbuilding company. And it's a seafaring nation, and so everyone celebrates, the sea and this company that, came like an East India trading company or something that has brought spices and silks and wealth and whatever else, right? It could be something like that, or it could have been an actual historical or religious figure that did exist. So altogether, we have an ancient female high elf wild magic sorcerer who is a pirate or was a pirate. She wears flamboyant or outlandish clothing, high strength, low intelligent, but has a perfect memory. That might be because of the age. She remembers a lot, but she's having trouble accessing it. Mannerisms, speaks in rhyme or some other peculiar way. We are coming up on Talk Like a Pirate Day, which is a summer holiday. Remember, it's still summertime until the equinox later this month. So TLAP Day, which is September 19th, it could be that. It could be poetry. Or maybe she remembers stuff that she remembers things so that she's always talking about things she remembers, but it doesn't make sense. She's argumentative, and she spurs on creativity. What has she seen in her life? The wild magic might be a part of that creativity about, the winds of change, of even the need for it. This might be a way to explain the shifting winds and weather of the summertime. Loyal to a patron. In this case, do you think that she might be more of a privateer? Which, is a pirate just, a legal pirate. For one side, anyway. Maybe she was actually more of a privateer. So she would go out and she would pirate the pirates. This could bring us into an exploration holiday, kind of like a Columbus Day or whatever else, or a military one. It could be a civic duty sort of a thing as well. A privateer is just a sanctioned pirate. And so maybe in this case, there is someone that she was bound to. And this could be interesting because we're going to make another NPC together. We might have a case of it writes itself. Oh, you have an ancestor that was a privateer after Fog. I always like hearing that when people, they've done their research and they have members of their family history that explorers, pirates, privateers, frontiersmen, founders who came over on the Mayflower, etc. Now what we're going to do, we are going to take the same methodology, but we're going to reverse it. Because maybe some of you start out with this information first, and then you apply the rest. So this was an exercise, well, not in that way. This will be, because now for a second NPC to give us a prompt for a summertime holiday, we're going to start with the occupation and history, and then we're going to focus in on the details, just so you can measure both ways to see which way works better for you. Oh, you had Russian nobility. Sawtooth, I would like you to get us started on this with an exclamation point 1D100, since we're already here in our manual of player character golems. Amazing how it works, right, Mawile? And again, that's why we have this phrase of the story writes itself. Rolls an 8. All right, so we have another female character. Mawile, I need a 1D9 roll in chat, please. Exclamation point 1D9. Lands on a 9. We have a tiefling. Okay. Now in the player's handbook, there's just the one kind of tiefling. Obviously, if you're playing with expanded books or whatever, you could have fun customizing from there. We're not worried about the alignment, the character level, or if we're taking feats or ASIs, but we do need to know our background. This is who our character is. This is important to know. And so, Artemis Rose Moon, are you still with us? I need you to roll an exclamation point 1D18 in chat, please. Lands on a 16. Another pirate? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What? Oh, what is going on here? All right, so we have a female tiefling. Also going to be a pirate. And maybe we actually have the pirate and privateer thing. This could play into some sort of myth or legend or a history or a religious story of some kind. Not worried about the personality traits, ideal, bond, and flaw. That will come out with the NPC creation. Who do we have that hasn't rolled in a while? Bane, are you still out there? Xbox Aaron, Demon Quiller, Hero Dragon or Dragon MDK, Capodrazi, are you out there? Who are some people who haven't rolled at all or in a while? All right, Dragon, I need you to give an exclamation point 1D12 roll, please. Lands on a 3, a cleric. All right. Now, I need a 1D8 roll, please, Dragon. A cleric. And which kind of cleric? Hi, Iron Chef. It's okay. I can call on you here shortly if you think you'll be up in another minute. Lands on a 7, a trickery cleric. And Iron Chef, would you please type exclamation point 1D100? Lands on an 82. Elderly. All right. So we have an elderly female tiefling trickery cleric who is a pirate. Now, we could just stop here. Maybe you say, you know what? This is enough. I I can weave this together with the other character. I have a summer holiday, right? Because we talked about before water holidays or all other different types of kinds. Maybe that's it. And that's all the inspiration you needed. Everything else, the story wrote itself and your brain just clicked into place and you go from there. But for the sake of consistency, let's go over the NPC creation one more time. So layered off of this prompt, we're now going to go back to our Dungeon Master's Guide. Remember, we're on page 89, which is chapter 4, creating non-player characters. Let's start off Mawile. I need a 1d20 roll in chat, please. Lands on a 7. Missing teeth. Now, what are her abilities? Iron Chef, to catch up with some other people who've rolled, I would like you to give me a 2d6 roll in chat, please. Exclamation point. 2d6, Iron Chef Lord. I should probably put on some sort of high seas chase with what we have going on here. I think I have something just right for this. Let me find it. Loading, loading. Yep. All right. So one is the roller's choice. So the first is our high ability is going to be charisma. And then Iron Chef, you get to choose what our low ability will be. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, or wisdom. Which will it be? We know that she is persuasive, forceful, and a born leader with high charisma. Now, what does high charisma mean mechanically? I don't know. Her high stat could be 10 if everything else is a 6. It could be a 26 and break the norm. All right, her low ability is strength then. Roller's choice. So she's feeble or scrawny. Now, she has a particular talent. And what is that talent? Let's have Dragon MDK roll 1d20 in chat, please. Exclamation point 1d20. Oh, maybe we don't have Dragon MDK with us. Hero Dragon, I guess if you're here, if either of you are here, exclamation point 1d20. Otherwise, hey, you guys are doing your own thing and I'll call on someone else. For those of you lurking, just say something in chat and I'll be happy to call on you. Stops on a 19, a skilled dancer. All right, now, what about the mannerism of this character or characterization? Oh, there we go. Dragon lands on a 1. Prone to singing, whistling, or humming quietly. And all the bad eggs. Pardon. Okay. Now, how does she interact with other people? Who else? Who do we have out here? Daly or Bane? If either of you are still hanging out, each of you have only rolled once. If there's others out there who haven't rolled, just speak up, and I'll be happy to call on you. Otherwise, for those of you who are actively chatting, I'll cycle back around and call on you for being present. Humming the girl from Ipanema. All right, Bane, you can push Daly forward while you type exclamation point 1d12, and then you can get back to Baldur's Gate. Lands on a 9. Irritable. Oops. Useful knowledge, not worried about that right now. Now, what is her ideal? What is something that she pursues? Whether or not that's her current mood or, I guess, alignment, this could be something on the horizon, something she works towards. Mawile, I need a 2d6 roll in chat, please. Four and a 7. So it looks like we've come back to chaotic, and you get your choice within chaotic, Mawile. You can choose change, creativity, freedom, independence, no limits, or whimsy. Freedom? Okay. Sawtooth, what is her bond? Please type exclamation point 1d10 in chat. Lands on a 6. Drawn to a special place. And what could that place be? Is it something like the Isla de Muerta? Like a Tortuga? Is it a location of a lover? Of treasure? Of family? Or some sort of point of origin? Mawile says, I'm seeing both these characters being old shipmates that had a falling out due to forced loyalty. Well, let's find out, because the flaw or secret might help reveal something along those lines. Afterfav, may I please have a 1d12 roll in chat? Exclamation point 1d12. Lands on a 6. Prone to rage. Well, she is irritable. But I guess this means she could be easily manipulated or pushed. Kind of like calling Marty McFly chicken. If people understand that she can be manipulated by being pushed into something, or, yeah, it was chicken. Though it was in 3, it was being called yellow, I think. Then she can make disastrous calls. or she could act out in ways that make her more predictable. And that could end up being part of the falling out too, Mawile. So here are the persons or personifications as an NPC for a holiday prompt. Something to do with summertime. With a religious holiday, a civic holiday. It's just something that is a natural occurrence, the solstice. It could be a commercial holiday. For some reason, are these two ladies the sponsors of this world's, National Hot Dog Eating Day? Or Swim in the Nude Day? Maybe. I think it was a week, though, in the holiday that we explored earlier. But we don't need to worry about that because there's a couple more prompts we're going to do after a quick break. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to make our location. And then on Friday, we're going to put the two together and we're going to detail the holidays. So right now, we just have shotgun blast a bunch of random prompts together to start connecting the dots. And the picture will become more and more clear. So hold on tight, everyone. We're going to take another quick break. I'm going to get the next part of the workshop set and ready to go. And when I come back, we're going to make 2 villains as holiday prompts because not all holidays are celebrated because of the good guys. I'll see you soon, everyone.